Professor Gwythian Prince believes the EU has sown the seeds of its own destruction through ever greater complexity and meddling as the benefits for its citizens shrivel. Voting to leave the doom bloc was thus most appropriate and prudent, not as Remainers claimed, the act of stupid or culturally primitive racists, he said. He urged Theresa May to be tougher with Brussels, because the pro-EU elites are cult-like and impossible to reason with. The African colonial-era expert was a history and politics tutor at the University of Cambridge and is now emeritus research professor at the London School of Economics. His findings are on the Briefings for Brexit website. Professor Prince used a method created by the American anthropologist Professor Joseph Tander to analyze the collapse of ancient empires like Rome, Minoa, and Egypt. Getty. Professor Prince analyzed the EU with a leading method used to charter collapse of ancient empires. Absence of cultural reproduction suggests that, like its older sibling, the Soviet Union, it should not outlast a human lifespan. Professor Gwythian Prince. He found that organizations thrive up to a certain point of complexity, like the EU for its first 45 years when the benefits of pooling powers outweigh downsides, but there is a point when they become so complex that benefits shrink and they lose the support of citizens. He argues that moment for the EU was the start of the single currency 20 years ago, and things have been steadily falling apart since. The European elite, ignoring many citizens, had responded by pushing on for their superstate, at the cost of alienating voters with increasingly draconian demands. Professor Prince claims there is growing anti-EU sentiment, including Britain's clear-sighted Brexit vote just in the nick of time. All this evidence of citizen rejection while the project responds with further acceleration has plainly taken the EU into the zone of risk, of collapse, he wrote. And that is where it stands, shakily but defiant, belittling, bullying, hoping to dishearten the British in order to deter other prospective escapees. Likening the EU to the Soviet Union, which lasted 70 years, he continued, the project is 61 years old this month. Absence of cultural reproduction suggests that, like its older sibling, the Soviet Union, it should not outlast a human lifespan.